going to see, they are not natural caves, they are man-made caves. So that's how they are called cave architecture. So artists, with the help of chisel and hammer, they created all these caves. So that's how they are called cave architecture. Otherwise, caves means natural cavity or caverns. But artists, they worked over there with the help of chisel and hammer, and also they use primitive sort of tools. So that's how they are called cave architecture. So basically, see, there were two styles of carving. One is called a rock cut-in monolithic caves. Cut-in means they used to clear rock face from top to bottom, and they would make tunnel into the rock about 10 meters, 20 meters deep. Later on they would clear from ceiling until floor. So I mean, whatever architectural features you see, columns, pillars, figures, all into one solid rock. So that's how they are called rock cut in. And another style was cut out monolithic temple. Means they separated one solid rock and they would start from top, from Kalash, from the dome. Gradually they came down carving. At the end of the carving they carved that gate. So this is the perfect example of rock cut out monolithic temple. So how many caves are there in all over India? There are 1200 caves approximately. Out of 1200 caves, 900 they are Buddhist caves, 200 Hindu caves, 100 Jain caves. What was the reason? There must be some reasoning behind. In ancient times, there used to be a trade route called Silk Route. So traders, they would come from different parts of the world, like China, Persia, Egypt, Greece, and they would go along with the local traders, along with monks from one place to other place to trade their silk as well as spices. But monks, they would go from one place to other place to propagate their religion. Wherever they would find this kind of isolated place away from busy life, so they would come and take temporary shelter in these caves, in peaceful place. So they would take a temporary shelter for about 2 days, 3 days. But monks and Jain munis, they would stay here for 4 months. So temporary stay was called rain retreats. In Hindi, it is called Chaturmas. Because in ancient times, when they would move from one place to other place, dense forests would grow up and wild animals would come before them. They had a life threat. So that's how they would stay at one place for 4 months. So that's how they carved these caves. This is the second reason, peaceful place. First reason was a trade route. All these caves carved along the side of a trade route. And third reason, very very important reason, if you see the theme or subject of all these caves, all are religious themes. In Buddhist caves you will find Buddha figures, the legends like Jataka tales, Jataka stories, and if you go to Hindu caves, all Hindu deities and the legends. In Jain caves you will find Jain Tirthankaras and the legends. So they would propagate their religion with the help of these caves. In other words, these caves acted like educational institution for religious people. So they would come and take temporary shelter and they would get some knowledge out of these tales, out of these Jataka stories, and they would carry in their mind with religious stories. So this is also one reason. One more reason is that since we have 1200 caves, each group of caves, they carved at the distance of either 30 kilometers or 35 kilometers. From Aurangabad to Ellora, 30 kilometers. From there to another group of caves, from Ellora to another group of caves called Pitalpura, 35 kilometers. From there to another group of caves called Mangi Tugi, 35 kilometers. From there to another group of caves, 30 kilometers. If you see Mumbai, in between Mumbai and Pune, there are several group of caves. They are called Karla, Bhaja, Kanheri, Bedse, Elephanta caves. So at the distance of either 30 or 35 kilometers. Because in olden days, In ancient times, they would travel in a daytime either 30 or 35 kilometers. So this is also one of the reasons. And one more reason is water source. Before every cave, you will find a river or streams. At Ajanta, just down below those caves, you will find a river called Waghora River. Whereas at Ellora, there are 4 streams, water streams. In rainy season, they start flowing, but after rainy season, it gets dry. So water source. Without water, we cannot survive. This is also one reason. One more reason is that dynasties, they played a greater role. 2 dynasties were involved here to patronize for Ellora caves. One is the Chalukyans of Badami. They were ruling from Karnataka, present day Karnataka state. There is a town called Badami. They were ruling from that place and they patronized for these caves. Another dynasty called Rashtrakuta dynasty, they patronized for Hindu and Jain caves. Because Rashtrakuta dynasty, they were very religious, Hindu religious dynasty. So they sponsored for especially Kailash temple as well as for Jain caves. So these 2 dynasties, if you see the period, lasted more than 500 years and continuously they patronized for these caves just for religious purpose. Another reason, basalt rock, volcanic rock, which is not so hard, not so soft, perfect for carving.